Hey Andrew, sorry for the multiple videos, but I kept running out of room and getting interrupted and all that stuff. But just reiterate, once you got it rigged, cast out, kind of count how long it takes to drop. This doesn't have to be an exact science, but if it usually takes maybe 3 seconds for it to drop, and when you cast it the next time, if it only takes a second for the line to start sinking into the water, then you know that there's probably a good chance you have something on there. Um, or if you feel a little tick when you have your hand on the line or on the rod and you feel a little tick, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to reel down until you feel a little bit of pressure, um, basically reeling up all the slack. And if you still feel a little pressure or a little pulling or tugging or whatever, don't ask any questions and set the hook. And when I say set the hook, I mean set the hook. Not like a little 4-year-old schoolgirl, but like a, what are you, 11 or 12 year old man, and really set the hook. Just real quick and fast and hard. Pull that rod tip back because you have a lot of bend in the rod, and so if you do it gently, you're going to absorb the whole hook set with the bending of the rod. So you want to do it really quick and fast, and that rod's going to go boom boing. It's gonna do this parabolic curve action, and it's gonna, when you pull it back, it's gonna curve like that, and then it's gonna whip back up, and that's what's gonna drive the hook into the fish's mouth so you can keep it. So it's really important to have a really good hook set. And don't be afraid. You can't set the hook too hard. If you miss the fish, that's not because of the hook set. It's just because maybe the fish didn't like it, didn't have it all the way, or you maybe took too long. Lots of things can happen. You're gonna miss fish. Don't worry about that. But just always make sure you get a good hook set. Um, and to work it, so you cast it out there, and then there's different things you can do. You can kind of like hop it along the bottom, and hop it along the bottom, and then take a little bit of the slack in, and let it do that. Or you can do these big long pulls. So you can imagine the bait kind of hopping along the bottom in these little shallow hops, or you can imagine lifting the rod tip up really high and taking the bait up and down, up and down. So there's a couple of different ways to do that. Or you can just tick it a little bit so the bait will just go tick, 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 along the bottom. Sometimes that works. Try all those different things. Some fish like different things, and depending on the bait, the action may be a little bit different. So don't be afraid to experiment. Don't, I usually work the bait all the way back to I'm usually in a kayak, but I usually work the bait all the way back to the boat. Do the same thing from the shore. So just experiment. Take your time. You have to have a lot of patience. There's oftentimes I'll go out and fish for 3 or 4 hours or 8 hours in a tournament and only catch like 3 fish. So you're not always going to catch fish. Don't let that discourage you. You're going to have good days. You're going to have bad days. The important thing is to be out there and have fun, whether you're catching fish or not. Just enjoy being out there. Uh, have a good time with it, and work on it. Keep experimenting, keep trying. Um, I would really stick to this style of fishing for a while. It's my go-to fishing style. Like everybody that I tournament fish with, they always use a Texas rig. Just about every day they're going to go do a Texas rig. So it's a proven style of fishing that will always yield results. It just the problem is that it's kind of slow, and so you have to you can only really work one area. So in a boat, there might be advantages to using different styles, search baits or whatever. But for you fishing on the shore, this is probably the best. I'll probably teach you another one a little bit later, but work on this one for a while. This is probably the best method on the shore. It's the most tried and true. So if there are fish there, if you take your time, you're going to catch them. One other thing I want to mention, I don't want anything back for this stuff and the stuff that I gave you, except I'd like to get a fishing report. If you could, maybe send me a message. Your dad can get you my email address or whatever, and if you take any pictures or whatever, actually my email address is really easy. It's jeffkellington@gmail.com. So if you take any pictures or anything when you're out fishing and love to see any fish you catch, Send me a little fishing report. Let me know how those airtail baits work, because I actually haven't tried them yet, so I'm curious to see if they work pretty well. But yeah, the best thing you can do with what I gave you is use it. So go out and fish, practice, have fun. It's a good time of year right now. The fall is a very good time of year. As it starts cooling off, the fish start getting hungry because they think that there's a winter coming. They have a biological cycle, and so as the water temperature starts dropping, they start getting in the mode of, I need to fatten up for the winter. Because in some areas right up in the north, the lake freezes over and they go completely dormant and inactive. They still have that biological cycle, even though the lake doesn't freeze over and they could stay active all year round. They still have that cycle. So fishing's about to get really good here. I showed your dad where that spot was. Go fish by the water intake on the dam. You should be able to get down there close to that whole area between where the water intake is and the little channel of water that leads back to the golf course. That area is pretty good. I usually catch fish there, but go experiment, go try. I will say that either that area or getting over closer towards the Parmer Bridge is going to be a little bit better. There's another area where people fish by the big rock face over there, kind of off the trail. That's pretty good too. I've caught fish there as well. But get out there, do it, and the only way you can thank me is by using it and sending me a fishing report and let me know how things work. I don't want anything else in return. I'm just happy to see you out there doing it. Good luck, tight lines, and go rib some lips, buddy. Hope to hear from you soon.